chosen one. Today I want you to pause, not because something frightening is about to happen, nor because you have only a short time left to gain my favor, but because you have walked in exhaustion for too long and need a moment to return to yourself. Amid the noise of work, responsibilities, expectations, and everything you have not yet been able to resolve, you may have forgotten that you also need to be heard, allowed to rest, and loved. I do not approach you through pressure. I do not tell you that you are more special than everyone else. Nor do I plant within you the belief that you alone have been chosen. Every person has a journey of their own, and today these words come to you as a gentle invitation. Slow down, breathe deeply, and allow the weary places within you to be seen. Jesus still extends his hand toward you with mercy, not to force you to grasp it in panic, but to remind you that you do not need to carry everything alone. Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, is sent as an image of courage, reminding you to remain steady before the thoughts that make you want to give up, and to continue choosing what is good during difficult days. I know you have asked yourself many questions that you never shared with anyone. You wonder when you will finally feel relief, when your efforts will begin producing results, and why life has still not changed as you hoped, even though you have done your best. There are nights when you lie still, while your mind continually moves through everything that remains unresolved. There are mornings when you awaken and fulfill every responsibility as usual, but little enthusiasm remains within you. You have tried so hard to be strong that sometimes you no longer know whether you are being resilient or merely forcing yourself to endure. I see this, and I do not condemn you. I do not love you less because you have sometimes considered giving up. Exhaustion does not make you a person without faith. It simply reveals that you have carried too much for too long. Therefore, instead of condemning yourself, learn to recognize your limits. You have the right to rest. You have the right to seek help. You have the right to say that you are not all right without feeling ashamed. Do not believe that I must interrupt your life through an extraordinary event in order to speak to you. I can reach you through very ordinary things. An honest conversation, timely advice, a sense of peace when you make the right decision, or healthy uneasiness when you know that you are living against what is good. Perhaps you stopped here only by coincidence. That does not make this message meaningless. Not every moment must be called destiny in order to be valuable. 1 minute of honestly looking at your life can become the beginning of renewal. One small decision today can create a significant difference after many months. I do not want you chasing mysterious signs while overlooking clear responsibilities. If you know that you need to apologize, apologize. If you know that you need to care for your health, begin. If you know that a habit is weakening you, seek a way to change it. These steps may not create an intense emotional experience, but they carry genuine power. Perhaps you felt some kind of pull before stopping, but do not immediately assume that every bodily sensation is a supernatural signal. Stress, hope, fear, and exhaustion can all produce very real reactions. Listen to your body attentively. If your heart races, you struggle to breathe, cannot sleep, or experience prolonged anxiety, do not merely pray and continue enduring it. Seek a doctor or an appropriate professional. I do not want you to regard receiving help as a lack of trust. Wisdom, medicine, and the companionship of trained people can also become means through which you recover. Mature faith does not deny reality. It helps you face reality without losing hope. You have heard many claims that spiritual doors open only for a very short time, and that if you do not act immediately, the opportunity will quietly disappear. But I do not guide you through panic. Some practical opportunities genuinely have deadlines, and you need to respond responsibly. But my love is not limited to a few minutes or hours. If a job application has a deadline, complete it on time. If someone needs your answer, respect their time. If fear has caused you to postpone something important, courageously begin. Yet do not confuse discipline with fear of abandonment. You do not lose me merely because you slow down to think. A right decision can usually withstand calm examination, advice, and prayer. If someone demands that you decide immediately in order to prove your faith, be cautious. Truth does not need to manipulate you through fear of missing out. I understand that you want to know what is happening behind the scenes of your life. You want to understand why certain plans were delayed, why some people left, and why roads that seemed right were closed. But you will not always receive a complete explanation. Some things occur because of other people's choices. Some arise from limitations, lack of preparation, or circumstances beyond anyone's control. There were times when you chose the wrong direction because you did not yet understand enough. Do not turn every disappointment into a mysterious plan. Yet do not assume that, because you do not understand, everything is meaningless. You can learn patience through a season of waiting, mature through failure, and recognize your true worth after a relationship ends. Meaning is not always already present. Sometimes, you create meaning by choosing what is good after what has happened. Michael was not sent by me to guard a secret moment intended only for you. This angel reminds you that courage is necessary during ordinary days. Courage when you must tell the truth. Courage when you must admit a mistake. Courage when you leave an environment that causes you to lose your dignity. Courage when you begin again with something very small. Courage when you stop living for everyone's approval. The image of Michael's sword is not meant to make you imagine a battle against everyone who disagrees with you. It is a reminder to cut away what separates you from love. Dishonesty, resentment, jealousy, procrastination, and the need to prove that you are superior. Genuine strength does not make you aggressive. It helps you remain firm while gentle, clear without becoming cruel, and capable of protecting yourself without nurturing hatred. I know there were times when you almost had no strength left to hope. You said inwardly that you did not know how much longer you could endure. If you remain in that place today, do not force yourself to appear positive. Begin with honesty. What is exhausting you most? Work that exceeds your limits, a relationship that continually causes anxiety, financial pressure, loneliness, or the fact that you must always be the strong one for everyone. Name the problem accurately, then divide it into small steps. You do not need to solve everything in one day. Perhaps today you need only make one telephone call, write one letter, request one appointment, create one plan, or allow yourself enough sleep. When a problem is divided into smaller parts, it no longer resembles an impossible wall. I am with you through each of these ordinary steps. You also need to remember that not every distraction is a conspiracy designed to prevent you from receiving a message. Life naturally contains interruptions. Your phone vibrates, children call, work intervenes, and your mind wanders. Do not turn these things into reasons for fear. Learn to create quiet space in a practical way. Turn off notifications for a while. Rearrange your schedule. Tell your family that you need a few minutes to concentrate. But neither should you treat their presence as an obstacle. Sometimes, the person calling your name is the very person who needs your love in that moment. Awareness does not mean eliminating every sound. It means recognizing what deserves priority and becoming fully present with it. You are not loved because you stopped to view some content. You are not more protected because you remained until the end. I do not distribute mercy according to how much attention you give a video. I desire that you bring whatever goodness you receive into your real life. If these words help you become calmer, use that calmness when speaking with your family. If they restore hope, turn that hope into action. If you feel comforted, become someone who comforts another. A message possesses value only when it helps you live more kindly, responsibly, and honestly. If it merely causes dependence upon intense emotions without changing the way you live, you need to examine it again. I want you to understand that you do not need to keep everything secret because you fear someone will take what belongs to you. Goodness is not diminished when shared wisely. Yet neither do you need to tell every private experience to everyone. Learn to choose trustworthy people with whom to speak. Preserving privacy is different from living in fear. Some things need time to mature, and some plans should be protected from unnecessary interference. But do not believe that one careless statement can destroy my will. Build your life upon preparation and discipline, not superstition. Something good that possesses a foundation will not be easily taken away by an accidental word. If you feel that everything is beginning to align, ask yourself what is genuinely changing. Have you begun establishing boundaries? Have you stopped accepting disrespectful treatment? Are you learning a new skill, caring for your health more faithfully, or seriously reviewing your finances? These changes are real and worthy of appreciation. Do not merely wait for an external door to open. Examine how you are preparing to walk through when opportunity arrives. A new job requires ability and responsibility. A healthy relationship requires maturity. Greater resources require the ability to manage them. Do not merely ask to receive more. Become someone who knows how to use what is given with gratitude and wisdom. My beloved child, today may not be an extraordinary day for the world, but it can still become an important day for you if you choose to live differently. You can decide to stop speaking to yourself through cruel words. You can apologize to someone you hurt. You can forgive someone without returning to the old cycle. You can stop postponing care for your health or begin correcting a habit that has created disorder in your life. No thunder or great sign is required. You need only enough courage to choose what is right in the present moment. Forgive those who used my name to make you afraid of missing something. They may have believed that they were encouraging you, but love does not require threats. Forgive yourself for being drawn into such words. When someone is exhausted and longs for a way out, it is easy to believe that if they respond at the right moment, everything will immediately change. You do not need to feel ashamed. Now you are able to discern more clearly. Choose guidance that leads you toward peace, maturity, and responsibility, rather than words that create panic or dependency. Then rise with the steadfastness Michael represents. Not steadfastness for fighting everyone, but for overcoming what is negative within you. Release bitterness. Stop repeatedly using old mistakes as a reason not to move forward. Forgive others while preserving boundaries. Forgive yourself while still correcting what needs correction. Be grateful that you still possess the ability to choose, that people still love you, and that today remains available for a new beginning. Jesus still extends his hand toward you with gentleness, and I, your Father, still tell you that you do not need to be perfect in order to be loved. You need only be honest, willing to learn, and persistent in continuing forward. Now return to peace. Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and remember that you do not need to resolve your entire life at once. Choose one kind step, one wise decision, and one responsibility you can complete today. Tomorrow, continue again. Do not live in fear that the door will close. Live in such a way that when a suitable door opens, you will have become mature enough to recognize it and courageous enough to walk through. I remain with you, in waiting, in action, in failure, and in the moment you begin again. Preserve hope, nurture gratitude, love sincerely, and live a little better each day. This is how you transform an ordinary moment into a genuine beginning, my beloved child. A change is quietly forming within your life. But I do not want you to receive it through panic or haste. I want you to prepare with a peaceful heart, a discerning mind, and responsible steps. Not everything newly beginning needs to be announced to everyone. Some intentions need time to take root. Some decisions require careful consideration, and some dreams need protection from noise before they are strong enough to enter the light. Yet the silence I teach you is not fear that others will destroy your future, nor the belief that one accidental statement can cause goodness to disappear. It is the wisdom to wait for the right time. Choose trustworthy people with whom to share, and refuse to allow excitement to make you speak beyond what you have genuinely prepared. Archangel Michael, my faithful messenger, protector, and executor of my will, is mentioned as an image of such steadfastness. He does not stand in the future to fight everyone around you, but reminds you to protect what is being built through discipline, humility, and courage. I know that you may once have shared your plans too early, and then allowed the opinions of others to make you unsteady. Some people did not intend to hurt you, but they viewed your dream through the limits of their own experience. Some discouraged you because they were worried. Some doubted because they did not understand, and others spoke words that weakened your confidence. Yet you do not need to treat every objection as a conspiracy against you. Sometimes difficult feedback reveals something for which you are not sufficiently prepared. Sometimes disagreement helps you examine your plan again and avoid a mistake. Maturity is not closing your ears to every external voice, but learning to distinguish between words that come from goodwill, words that arise from fear, and words that no longer fit your direction. Listen without surrendering your authority to decide. Consider without becoming dependent. Appreciate good advice, but do not give control of your life to those who will not carry the consequences of your choices. Some things genuinely grow better in silence. A new habit becomes more sustainable when you quietly practice it rather than continually speak about it. A financial plan requires numbers and discipline, not loud declarations. A healing journey requires time, support, and patience, not proof to everyone that you are completely well. A developing relationship needs sincerity and boundaries, not public display in order to receive approval. Learn to preserve what is precious, not because you fear it will be stolen, but because you respect its process. A seed is not ashamed while beneath the soil. It is simply doing the necessary work before rising. Likewise, you do not need to hurry to prove that you have changed. Allow others to recognize it through the way you live more calmly, keep your word more faithfully, respond more wisely, and refuse to return to former cycles. Jesus showed you that genuine awareness does not mean living in tension and continually believing that a great event is about to occur. When he invites you to open your eyes and remain, it is an invitation to become present with truth, not to be held by fear. Open your eyes to recognize how tired you have become. Open your eyes to see which relationship needs repair or a new boundary. Open your eyes to recognize a good opportunity while remaining alert enough to examine its risks. Remain with me through uncomfortable moments instead of immediately escaping into busyness, entertainment, or impulsive decisions. Some answers appear only when you stop running from yourself. Some wounds begin healing only when you stop pretending that they do not exist. Some directions become clear only when you accept that you do not know everything. You may feel urgency within you, as though you can no longer continue living in the old way. But I want you to distinguish between healthy prompting and panic. Healthy prompting makes you clearer, more responsible, and willing to begin through specific steps. Panic makes you believe that you must decide immediately, and that every good thing will disappear if you slow down. I do not guide you through chaos. When something truly matters, you can still take time to gather information, seek advice, and consider the consequences. If an opportunity does not allow you time to think, continually pressures you to keep secrets, or makes you afraid of being left behind, be cautious. What is right for you does not require manipulation in order to be protected. A good decision may require courage, but it does not require you to abandon discernment. Perhaps you feel that a truth is gradually coming into the light, but do not frighten yourself by believing that it will certainly overturn everything. Truth can sometimes be painful, but not every truth arrives like a great shock. There are things you have known for a long time, but were not ready to name. A job that no longer fits. A relationship losing respect. A habit weakening your health, or sorrow that you continually conceal. When this truth becomes clearer, you do not need to react through anger or haste. Give yourself time to receive it. Ask what is actually happening, what is supported by evidence, and what is merely fear. Speak with those involved when necessary. Seek help from wise people. Truth is intended to release you from uncertainty, not push you into chaos. I also want you to understand that my intervention does not always mean preventing every hardship before it touches you. I do not promise that you will never need to deal with the consequences of a wrong decision, heal after a broken relationship, or experience loss. Some lessons can be understood only when you face the consequences and accept responsibility. Yet my mercy remains active even then. It helps you refuse to let a mistake define you. It brings people willing to support you. It gives you strength to apologize, make amends, and begin again. Intervention sometimes does not prevent the storm, but helps you recognize the shelter. Sometimes it does not erase consequences, but gives you wisdom not to repeat what happened. Sometimes it does not change another person, but changes the way you protect your dignity and peace. You once asked why you were led to these words. The answer is not that you are more special than everyone else, but that you need a reminder to continue living kindly without becoming naive. Life has sometimes made you want to harden your heart. You gave and were disregarded, trusted and became disappointed, tried and received no recognition. There were days when you told yourself that you would no longer care, open your heart, or hope, yet deep within you, A part of you still desires to choose what is good. You still hurt when you see another person hurting. You still feel grateful for kindness. You still want to live meaningfully, despite repeated exhaustion. Such tenderness is not weakness. It is a precious quality, but it needs to be protected through wisdom. A compassionate heart does not mean that everyone has the right to enter. A forgiving person does not need to remain where harm continually repeats. Michael reminds you about protection, but this protection begins through practical choices. Safeguard your personal information. Do not give money to an unclear promise. Do not share every plan with someone who continually mocks you or breaks your confidence. Record important agreements. Clearly express boundaries within relationships. Leave a conversation when the other person desires only to provoke or humiliate you. Protection does not mean suspecting everyone. It means refusing to continue overlooking behavior that has repeatedly proven unsafe. I want your heart to remain gentle, but your eyes must remain open. Love without deceiving yourself. Give opportunities while observing consistency. Promises may sound beautiful, but long-term actions reveal character. Perhaps you once believed that in order for me to trust you, you had to remain strong at all times, possess unwavering faith, and never experience days of doubt. But I do not require you to perform the role of a perfect person. I know there are times when your faith feels very small, when you pray without feeling anything, and when you possess only enough strength to take one more step through the day. I do not despise weary footsteps. I see that even while hurting, you still try not to harm others, continue fulfilling responsibilities despite a burdened mind, and search for one reason to hope. Faith is not always powerful certainty. Sometimes it is simply refusing to abandon goodness completely before seeing results. Sometimes it is choosing to ask for help instead of enduring alone. Sometimes it is honestly admitting that you are afraid while remaining willing to learn how to continue. I want you to give your full attention to the present moment, but not in a way that forces you to abandon everything or prevents you from looking away from a message. Pay attention to the life taking place before you. When you eat, eat gratefully instead of eating while worrying. When someone you love speaks, listen instead of merely waiting for your turn to answer. When you work, focus upon the important task rather than allowing hundreds of notifications to fragment your mind. When you rest, genuinely rest instead of condemning yourself for not accomplishing enough. Presence is a form of love. You cannot always control the future, but you can live fully within what has been entrusted to you today. A better future is built through ordinary days, lived with awareness. If a plan is growing within you, write it down. Determine what you need to learn, how much preparation time you require, and whose assistance you need. Do not keep it only within your imagination and call it guidance. Turn inspiration into a plan, the plan into action, and action into habit. If you desire to change careers, investigate the market and develop the necessary skills. If you desire to heal a relationship, prepare for an honest conversation while accepting that you cannot control the other person's response. If you desire a healthier life, begin with sleep, nourishing meals, and suitable movement. If you desire financial stability, face the numbers honestly. I do not want you merely to feel that you are entering a new season. I want you to build foundations capable of sustaining the change. Do not immediately assume that every external voice is a distraction that must be removed. Some warnings come from those who genuinely love you. Some questions make you uncomfortable because they touch a weakness you are not yet ready to admit. Learn to listen without reacting defensively. If feedback contains truth, receive it. If it does not apply, calmly release it. You do not need to argue in order to prove that you are right. Mature confidence does not need to win every conversation. It knows who you are, recognizes what remains to be learned, and knows when to leave an exchange that is no longer constructive. Preserve relationships with those who can speak truth without belittling you. Such people are more valuable than those who always agree. When you sense that the future is drawing near, remember that the future does not stand behind a secret boundary waiting to be protected. It is formed through what you do today. Every promise you keep, habit you correct, and choice of honesty places another stone in tomorrow's foundation. Michael cannot perform your part for you. Jesus does not teach you to escape responsibility by waiting for intervention. And I, your Father, do not want you living dependently upon the feeling that everything will arrange itself without effort. I have given you the ability to think, learn, cooperate, and change. Use these gifts. Pray and then act. Hope and then prepare. Trust while still verifying. Love while preserving boundaries. My beloved child, preserve your tenderness, but do not let it become an entrance for exploitation. Protect your dreams, but do not live in fear that someone will discover them. Remain silent when silence helps you concentrate, but speak when truth needs protection. Listen to your emotions, but do not allow emotion alone to determine major decisions. Respect intuition formed through experience while still seeking evidence and advice. This is the balance I want you to learn. Trust without becoming deluded, courage without impulsiveness, and compassion without losing yourself. Now release the fear that one word, one distraction, or one delayed choice will destroy every good thing. Forgive those who made you doubt your abilities. Forgive yourself for sharing too much with people who did not appreciate it, abandoning plans because you feared judgment, and allowing external voices to become louder than the honest voice within you. You have learned more, and now you can choose differently. Protect what you are building through diligence rather than superstition. Let Michael's courage remind you to remain steady. Let the gentleness of Jesus remind you not to harden your heart. And let my love remind you that you do not need to be perfect before you can begin. Enter the new day with peace. Do not hurry to prove that a great change is approaching. Allow change to become visible through the way you live. Give thanks for the small things supporting you. A home, someone who listens, an opportunity to learn, and another day with enough strength to begin again. Forgive, but do not return to what has repeatedly destroyed your peace. Hope, but place hope upon a foundation of responsibility. Live kindly, even when the world once made you want to become cold. Then, day by day, you will recognize that what is coming into the light may not be a secret that shocks you. It may be you. A more mature and peaceful person. Someone who knows how to love wisely and possesses enough courage to build a better future through sincere choices.